probably the biggest story going on in America right now, and it's been ignored by our mainstream media. I've covered it on these live streams. Seymour Hersh's bombshell revelations that the U.S. took out the Nord Stream pipeline. So I've already gone through all that. If you want to see all the details of it, go check that out. But this is now, and Seymour Hersh, if you guys need reminding, is a legendary journalist. He broke the My Lai massacre story, other stories about Vietnam, stories about Watergate, stories about the Syrian chemical attacks that weren't real. He broke so many legendary stories, won a Pulitzer Prize. So this is not like, you can't just claim this is some rando who printed something. And anyway, Alan McLeod at Mint Press, my colleague at Mint Press, did an analysis of mainstream media and looked into how much they're ignoring Seymour Hersh's coverage. So corporate media have overwhelmingly ignored the Pulitzer Prize winning reporter's bombshell. McLeod analyzed 20 most influential publications in the United States, according to analytics company SimilarWeb, and found only 4 mentions of the report between all of them over all of those days. 4 mentions. The entirety of the corporate media's attention given to the story consisted of a 166-word mini report in Bloomberg, 1 5-minute segment on Tucker Carlson, which I tore apart Tucker Carlson the other day, so it's not like I'm a Tucker Carlson fan. He's got a tremendous number of awful problems with him.
Well, this is just Alan pointing out that he
No.
it.
Well, I know, but my point is just, but he is, at times, Tucker Carlson will go outside the mainstream media kind of Overton window, as he did when he did the segment on the CIA. Very well, his words, very well may have killed JFK. They did kill JFK, but it was the first time that mainstream media had ever done anything like that. So Tucker Carlson occasionally will do that. Will do these reports, which I will give him. I will laud him when he does that. But he also is a racist piece of shit. So there's that side of things. Anyway, 600-word roundup in the New York Post, and a shrill Business Insider attack article whose headline labels Hersh as a discredited journalist who gave a gift to Putin. So those are the four coverage pieces of Seymour Hersh's incredible revelations. The Nord Stream attack was also one of the, I just thought I'd throw this in here because I failed to cover this aspect on my live stream. Nord Stream attack was also one of the world's worst ecological disasters, constituting the largest single leak of methane in history, a gas 80 times worse for the planet than carbon dioxide at accelerating climate change.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering why, like, nobody was reporting on that aspect of it. And of course, you'd think if the U.S. was so eager to blame Russia for this, why not highlight how horrific it is that this was the largest methane leak in history? Well, it's kind of like why the Republicans and Democrats never blame each other for rigging elections, because they fucking do it too. So it's like the U.S. can't yell at Russia for this methane leak that they supposedly did, because there's methane leaking across the U.S. all the fucking time, constantly. I mean, just around L.A., there's methane leaking from the fracking fields. Like if you go around LAX,
right? If you do like a heat,
it's fucking constant.
Not heat signature, but there's a type of visual that just shows the methane clouds, and it's horrific. Yeah,
I lived in that for 10 years. Maybe that's why
I mean, it's not like I was living in anything good in New York City.
That's
for
right.
10,
You were
12
what
years.
was it called? Radiac?
Oh my God. Tangent, folks.
Sorry.
I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Williamsburg, Brooklyn for over 4 years. And I saw a report on how, like a mention in a report on how the only New York City radioactive material disposal facility was in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And I then looked at where it was on the map, and it's fucking, oh no, I remember, I didn't even look where it was. I knew it was near me. I was like, oh shit, that road is like 2 blocks from me. I then went jogging like a couple of days later, and I see a sign on a door that just says Radiac. Like a door that goes to the sidewalk. And in the video, the guy holds a Geiger counter up to the front door of Radiac, and it's like, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that it's still there. If anyone's in Brooklyn,
actually glows in the dark, which is very festive.
I do. The ladies love it. All right, so I just wanted to give you guys that update on the Seymour Hersh story. And I can give you this update on the update about oil pipelines.
I sent this to you.
Well, I told you, you're doing amazing research. See, you act like you don't want credit, and then you do want credit.
Now you've got me expecting it. So now I'm like, by the way, this was found and
EleanorGoldfield.com.news.
Yeah, so I sent this to Lee, this headline, which reads, Russia and China agreed to a 30-year gas deal via new pipeline to be settled in euros. And I actually saw some video of the pipeline being built, which is horrifying. But
now the U.S. is going to attack it.
But I sent this to Lee and I just wrote, so we wrecked Germany's energy infrastructure for no fucking reason. Because basically
we sped up what was happening that we were trying to stop.
The whole point of destroying Nord Stream was to cripple Russia economically. But that's not happening. And even more to the point, Russia and China have agreed, fuck the petrodollar. We're going to do this shit in euros. So
and they may soon do it in some sort of. They're working on they're working on some sort of currency that would be used between Russia and China. So euros may be the temporary,
right?
But the U.S. succeeded by bombing Nord Stream. The U.S. succeeded in cutting off the energy supply, a lot of it from Russia to Europe, which has crippled Europe. So the U.S. got what they wanted in that regard. But they had also thought this proxy war in Ukraine would possibly push China, if Russia invaded, push China into like stepping back and not working with Russia. But it's had the reverse effect where Russia's gone, and China have gone running to each other saying like, well, these Americans are out of their fucking minds, so let's work together. So it's actually sped up the multipolar world that the U.S. was fighting against. Russia has agreed to a 30-year contract to supply gas to China via new pipeline and will settle the new gas sales in euros, bolstering an energy alliance with Beijing amid Moscow's strained ties with the West. Yeah, this is Reuters, which generally does propaganda. Gazprom, which has a monopoly on Russian gas exports by pipeline, agreed to supply Chinese state energy major CNPC with 10 billion cubic meters of gas a year. And speaking of your Reuters, I forgot to say in that Alan McLeod article that the U.S. media is not covering the Seymour Hersh story, except for those 4 pieces, several of them trashing Hersh. But internationally, it's everywhere. So it's not like our mainstream media doesn't know about this story that the U.S. bombed Nord Stream. It's everywhere. And Reuters has done 14 articles on it while the U.S. pretends it hasn't happened. Now, McLeod makes the point that Reuters, all of the Reuters articles are trying to discredit Seymour Hersh, but still there's some coverage of it. And internationally, it's like in Germany, it's become a major thing. In Germany, they're yelling about it in parliament, the Seymour Hersh story. So.
And somebody just posted, isn't blowing up a pipeline an act of war? Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely it is. But This is kind of how the U.S. rolls. There's lots of acts of war that the U.S. perpetuates on a daily basis, I'd say. Be it drone bombing innocent civilians, blowing up gas pipelines, whatever. And has yet to really feel the pushback from it.